Rain slams violently against the glass windows of St. Gabriel Medical Center in Chicago. Lightning flashes across the midnight sky. Inside the emergency maternity wing, chaos explodes. Blood pressure is dropping. Move! Move! We're losing her. Nurses rush a pale, trembling Sophia Cole through the hospital corridor, while doctors sprint beside the bed. Her fingers clutch the rails weakly. Tears stream down her face. Not from pain, from fear. Please, she whispers between shallow breaths. Save my baby. A nurse squeezes her hand. We're trying, sweetheart. Stay with us. But Sophia's eyes keep searching the hallway, searching for her husband, Ethan. And when she finally spots him standing near the operating room doors, relief floods her exhausted face. For one heartbreaking second, she still believes he loves her. She reaches toward him weakly. Ethan, but Ethan doesn't move. He only stares, cold, emotionless, like a man waiting for a business deal to close. And beautiful souls, before we go any further, where are you watching from tonight? Drop your city and country in the comments below. I love seeing this incredible community from all over the world come together through these stories. Sophia disappears behind the operating room doors. The red emergency light switches on, and the moment those doors shut, Ethan exhales slowly, not with fear, with relief. Then he turns around and walks away from the maternity ward, straight toward the private family lounge at the end of the corridor. Inside, sitting comfortably on a leather couch with crossed legs and a designer coat draped over her shoulders, is Vanessa Hart, 26 years old. Perfect makeup, perfect hair, perfect smile. The woman Ethan has been secretly sleeping with for over a year. The moment Ethan enters the room, Vanessa smirks. Well, she asks softly. Ethan loosens his tie. They said complications got worse. Vanessa's eyes light up. That means... Ethan slowly nods. She probably won't survive the night. Vanessa stands immediately and wraps her arms around his neck. Oh my God, she whispers excitedly. We're finally free. And Ethan smiles, not nervous, not guilty, happy, like a man celebrating victory. The same wife who worked night shifts for years to help him escape bankruptcy. The same woman who sold her late mother's jewelry so he could save his company. The same woman risking her life to deliver his child was now simply an obstacle finally disappearing. And what makes this even worse? Sophia has no idea, because until the very end, she still believes Ethan is the loving husband from the photos online, the devoted family man with perfect captions, the loyal husband who kisses her forehead during baby showers, the caring future father. But online lies are easy. Reality is much darker. 3 years earlier, Ethan Cole was drowning in debt. Collection agencies harassed him daily. Banks rejected him. Investors laughed at him. His luxury real estate company was collapsing before it even began. And the only person who stayed beside him was Sophia. Sophia worked exhausting double shifts as a nurse while secretly paying Ethan's business debts one by one. She skipped vacations, skipped sleep, skipped buying clothes for herself. Everything went into helping Ethan survive. When his office rent was overdue, Sophia paid it. When his car was repossessed, Sophia fixed it. When Ethan broke down crying one night after losing his final investor, Sophia sat beside him on the apartment floor and whispered, "We'll build this together." And they did. Within 5 years, Ethan transformed into one of Chicago's rising luxury developers. Money flooded in, fame followed. Then came interviews, magazine covers, parties, power, and slowly, Sophia disappeared from Ethan's heart. Success didn't make Ethan grateful. It revealed who he really was. Cold, ambitious, hungry, the type of man who loved loyalty only when he needed it. Then Vanessa entered the picture. Young, beautiful, obsessed with luxury. Vanessa didn't know Ethan before the money. She only knew penthouses, champagne, and private events. And Ethan loved how she made him feel powerful. Soon, late meetings became overnight disappearances. Business trips became romantic vacations. Meanwhile, Sophia sat alone in massive empty rooms, rubbing her pregnant stomach and waiting for her husband to come home. But there was one thing Sophia never stopped believing in: the baby. After 3 devastating miscarriages across 6 painful years, this pregnancy felt like a miracle from heaven. She decorated the nursery herself, folded tiny baby clothes every night, read parenting books alone while Ethan texted Vanessa in secret. Sophia truly believed this child would heal their marriage. She had no idea Ethan was secretly hoping for something else entirely. Because during the final trimester, doctors delivered terrible news. Sophia's pregnancy had become extremely dangerous. Severe complications, high bleeding risk, possible emergency surgery. One doctor even warned Ethan privately, if complications increase during delivery, there's a chance we may not be able to save both mother and baby. Most husbands would panic hearing those words. Ethan saw opportunity, because hidden inside Sophia's inheritance was something worth millions. Her late father had quietly left her ownership shares in valuable downtown properties. If Sophia died, everything transferred to Ethan and the child. And Ethan already knew exactly how to control both. Over the following weeks, Ethan quietly updated insurance policies, moved money into hidden shell accounts, deleted evidence, prepared for life after Sophia, and every night Vanessa kept asking the same question. When this is over, we'll finally be together, right? Ethan always gave the same answer. Yes. Back in the operating room, Sophia screams in agony as doctors fight desperately to save her life. Machines beep wildly. Blood stains the surgical sheets. Come on, Sophia. You need to stay with us. Dr. Raymond Hale steps beside her. 62 years old. Calm eyes. Silver hair. 27 years delivering babies. He's seen almost everything. But something about tonight feels wrong. Sophia grabs his wrist suddenly with surprising strength. Her voice trembles. Doctor, you need to protect my son. Dr. Hale leans closer. What do you mean? Sophia's lips quiver. Tears slide down her face. If something happens to me, she struggles to breathe. Don't trust my husband. Dr. Hale freezes. Outside the operating room, Ethan and Vanessa laugh quietly over hidden champagne glasses. Inside, Sophia's heartbeat begins crashing, and Dr. Hale suddenly realizes This story may be far darker than anyone imagined. If this story is already hitting you emotionally, beautiful souls, make sure you subscribe right now, because what happens next will completely change everything Ethan thinks he controls. Then suddenly, the heart monitor flatlines. The room erupts. Code blue. Move. Charge again. Lightning explodes outside the hospital windows as doctors fight desperately to bring Sophia back. But 30 terrifying minutes later, the operating room doors finally open. Dr. Hale steps into the hallway slowly, his face pale, his gloves stained red. The baby survived, he says quietly. Ethan pretends to choke back tears. And Sophia? Silence. Then Dr. Hale answers. She didn't make it. Ethan lowers his head. Fake grief, fake shaking shoulders, fake heartbreak. But the second Dr. Hale walks away, Vanessa wraps her arms around him and whispers, "We're finally free." And Ethan smiles. A real smile. But neither of them notices the older surgeon standing silently near the corner of the hallway, watching everything, listening carefully, and remembering Sophia's final warning. Don't trust my husband. Dr. Hale slowly turns back toward the operating room doors. His expression darkens, because suddenly, Sophia's death no longer feels like a tragedy. It feels like the beginning of something much more dangerous. 3 days later, rain still hangs over Chicago like the city itself is mourning. Sophia Cole's funeral is packed. Politicians, business executives, social media influencers, luxury developers, even local news cameras wait outside the cathedral because Ethan Cole, the grieving millionaire husband, has become the center of public sympathy. And Ethan plays the role perfectly. Black designer suit, red eyes, carefully rehearsed silence. He stands beside Sophia's white casket holding his newborn son while guests whisper about what a tragic man he is. But behind those fake tears, Ethan is already thinking about money, inheritance transfers, insurance payouts, property ownership, freedom. Vanessa sits quietly near the back, wearing oversized sunglasses, pretending to mourn while secretly texting him under the pew. 1 more week, and this nightmare is over. Ethan glances down at his phone, then quickly locks the screen as mourners approach him. "I'm so sorry for your loss," one woman whispers. Ethan nods slowly. "Thank you," he says with practiced pain. But standing 20 feet away, Dr. Raymond Hale watches silently, and something continues eating at him. Sophia's final words, "Don't trust my husband." For 72 hours those words have refused to leave his mind. Because doctors develop instincts after decades around death, and Ethan Cole's grief feels manufactured. Too polished, too controlled, too empty. Then something else bothers him even more. The medical records. Sophia's complication timeline doesn't fully make sense. Certain medications in her chart were altered shortly before surgery. One dosage adjustment, one approval signature, one tiny decision that dramatically increased her bleeding risk. And the authorization came from Ethan. Dr. Hale's stomach tightens, because suddenly this is no longer suspicion. It may be murder hidden behind medicine. Beautiful souls, if you've ever seen someone pretend to care after destroying another person's life, drop a justice in the comments right now, because this story is only getting started. That evening, after the funeral ends, Ethan returns to the luxury penthouse overlooking downtown Chicago. The baby cries softly in the nursery. Ethan barely reacts. He hands the newborn immediately to the nanny Sophia once hired. "Handle him," Ethan mutters coldly. The nanny stares in disbelief. "That's your son." Ethan loosens his tie. "And you're being paid." Then his phone buzzes. Vanessa. 10 minutes later, she enters the penthouse laughing as she kicks off her heels. No more sneaking around, she grins. She walks toward the nursery, but immediately wrinkles her nose hearing the baby cry. Oh God, he's loud. Ethan pours expensive whiskey into crystal glasses. "You'll get used to it." Vanessa raises an eyebrow. "I don't want to get used to it. I thought once Sophia was gone, we'd finally have our lives." Ethan's expression hardens. He's temporary. Temporary. That word chills even the nanny listening quietly nearby. Then Vanessa notices something. A framed photograph sitting untouched beside the fireplace. Sophia holding Ethan years earlier when they were still broke and happy. Vanessa scoffs. "You still keeping souvenirs?" Ethan walks over calmly and throws the photo into the trash. Problem solved. Upstairs in the nursery, the baby suddenly begins crying harder, almost like he can feel everything. Meanwhile, Dr. Hale sits alone inside his office at St. Gabriel Medical Center. The hospital is nearly empty now. Only the hum of fluorescent lights fills the silence. On his desk sits Sophia's medical chart. Beside it, a sealed hospital evidence envelope. Inside are Sophia's personal belongings recovered after surgery. Wedding ring, phone, necklace, and one small flash drive taped beneath her phone case. Dr. Hale didn't discover it until earlier that evening. His fingers tighten around it now. Something told him to check carefully. And when he inserts the drive into his office computer, Sophia appears on the screen. Alive, weak, terrified. The video shakes slightly as if recorded secretly. Sophia looks directly into the camera. "If you're watching this," she whispers, "something happened to me." Dr. Hale's heart pounds. Sophia takes a shaky breath. "I know Ethan is trying to kill me." Silence fills the office. Dr. Hale freezes completely. Sophia continues. "I found messages between Ethan and Vanessa 3 weeks ago. They talked about insurance money, inheritance, and life after I'm gone." Tears streamed down her face. "I wanted to leave him immediately, but I was afraid the stress would hurt the baby." Then her voice cracks. "So I pretended not to know." Dr. Hale leans closer in disbelief. "But there's something Ethan doesn't know either." Sophia reaches off-screen and holds up a folder. "My father changed his will before he died." Dr. Hale's eyes widen. Sophia whispers carefully, "If I die under suspicious circumstances, Ethan inherits nothing." Suddenly, the entire power dynamic changes. Sophia knew. All along she knew, and she prepared for it. But wait, beautiful souls, this next part changes everything. Sophia smiles weakly through tears. There's more. She reveals another document. "My father created a protected trust for my son. Control of the estate transfers temporarily to a court-appointed guardian chosen by me. Dr. Hale's chest tightens. Then Sophia says the one sentence Ethan would never expect. I chose Dr. Raymond Hale. Silence. Pure silence. The older surgeon stares at the screen in shock. Sophia continues softly. You once saved my life after my second miscarriage when I almost gave up. You told me good people survive by protecting each other. She wipes her tears. So if anything happens to me, please protect my son from Ethan. The video ends. Dr. Hale sits frozen, breathing heavily, because now he understands everything. Ethan thinks he won, but legally, financially, strategically, he's walking straight into a disaster Sophia prepared before her death. And Ethan has absolutely no idea. If this story is hitting you the way I think it is, beautiful souls, you're going to want to subscribe, because what happens next will absolutely blow your mind. The next morning, Ethan arrives at the offices of Cole Developments expecting celebration. Instead, his lawyer looks nervous. Very nervous. There's a problem, the lawyer says carefully. Ethan frowns. What problem? The lawyer slides documents across the desk. Ethan scans them, and suddenly all color disappears from his face. What is this? Your wife's trust agreement. Ethan flips pages frantically. No, this is impossible. The lawyer swallows hard. Your wife anticipated potential foul play. Under the terms of her father's estate, you inherit nothing until an investigation clears all circumstances surrounding her death. Ethan slams the papers onto the desk. That's ridiculous. It's legal. Ethan's breathing sharpens. What about the baby? The estate remains under temporary guardianship. Ethan narrows his eyes. Whose guardianship? The lawyer hesitates, then quietly answers. Dr. Raymond Hale. Silence. Dangerous silence. And for the first time since Sophia died, Ethan looks afraid, because somewhere deep inside, he realizes Sophia may have beaten him even from the grave. Ethan Cole stares at the trust documents like they're written in another language. His jaw tightens. His fingers tremble slightly against the polished conference table. This makes no sense. He snaps. I'm her husband. The lawyer exhales carefully. Legally, the trust overrides marital transfer until the investigation is completed. Ethan's eyes darken instantly. What investigation? The lawyer hesitates, then slides another paper forward. A formal inquiry into Sophia's death was requested this morning. Ethan freezes. Requested by Dr. Raymond Hale. And suddenly, the room feels smaller, utter, dangerous. Back at St. Gabriel Medical Center, Dr. Hale walks through the neonatal unit quietly. Sophia's newborn son sleeps peacefully inside a small bassinet. Tiny fingers, tiny breaths, completely innocent. Dr. Hale stands there longer than he expects, because after 30 years delivering babies, he knows something painful. Children often pay for the sins of adults. But not this time. Not if he can stop it. A soft voice interrupts him. She loved him already. Dr. Hale turns. Standing nearby is Elena Ramirez, Sophia's closest friend and fellow nurse. Her eyes are swollen from crying. She talked about him every single day. Elena whispers. She already picked his favorite lullabies. Dr. Hale studies her carefully, then lowers his voice. How much did Sophia tell you about Ethan? Elena goes silent, and that silence says everything. Beautiful souls, if you already feel the storm building, hit that like button, because Ethan has no idea the people around him are slowly turning against him one by one. Elena looks around nervously before speaking. She found out about Vanessa months ago. Dr. Hale's expression hardens. She told me Ethan changed after the money came. Elena wipes away tears. At first Sophia blamed herself. She thought maybe losing those pregnancies pushed him away. But later, Elena pauses. She became scared of him. Dr. Hale leans closer. Scared how? Elena reaches into her purse slowly, then pulls out a second phone. Sophia's backup phone. I didn't know whether to give this to police, Elena whispers. But after she died, I listened to some of the recordings. Dr. Hale takes the phone carefully, and when he presses play, Ethan's voice fills the room. Cold, sharp, cruel. You're weak, Sophia. If anything happens during delivery, don't expect me to destroy my life mourning forever. Some people are replaceable. Dr. Hale's stomach twists. Then another recording begins. Vanessa laughing. Once she's gone, we'll finally travel without dragging a baby around. Dr. Hale closes the phone slowly. This is no longer suspicion. This is war. Meanwhile, Ethan explodes inside the penthouse. He hurls crystal glasses across the living room while Vanessa watches nervously. She planned this. He roars. Vanessa folds her arms. So, what now? Ethan paces furiously. We destroy Hale before this investigation grows. Vanessa's face tightens. You think he knows something. Ethan stops moving, then quietly says, I don't know what Sophia told him before she died. For the first time, fear enters the room. Not grief, not guilt. Fear, because Ethan suddenly realizes something horrifying. Sophia may have left evidence behind. And if she did, everything collapses. That same night, Dr. Hale meets privately with Detective Marcus Bennett inside a quiet diner downtown. Marcus is former homicide, sharp instincts, no patience for wealthy manipulators. He listens carefully while reviewing Sophia's recordings. Then he leans back slowly. You're telling me a millionaire husband financially benefits from his wife dying during high-risk childbirth. He pauses, and there's evidence he altered medical approvals. Dr. Hale nods once. Marcus whistles softly. That's ugly. Then Dr. Hale places the flash drive on the table. And there's more. Marcus watches Sophia's final video in complete silence. When it ends, he says only one sentence. We need to move carefully, because men like Ethan Cole don't fall easily. Men with money bury problems, buy silence, control narratives, and Ethan already has powerful attorneys preparing defenses. But Ethan's biggest weakness? His ego. He truly believes he's smarter than everyone else, which means if pushed carefully, he'll expose himself. And Dr. Hale already has a plan. 3 days later, a memorial gala is announced in Sophia's honor. Publicly, it appears to celebrate her life and raise donations for struggling mothers. Privately, it's bait. The event spreads quickly across social media. News stations cover it. Luxury magazines promote it. And Ethan sees opportunity immediately. Perfect public relations. A grieving widower rebuilding his image. Vanessa even helps select his suit for the event. "You need to look devastated," she says while adjusting his tie. Ethan smirks. "That's easy." The gala takes place inside a massive ballroom overlooking the Chicago skyline. Crystal chandeliers glow overhead. Cameras flash everywhere. Politicians mingle beside celebrities and investors. And at the center of attention, Ethan Cole enters carrying his infant son. The crowd immediately softens. Whispers spread. "He's so strong. What a tragic story." You can tell he loved her. Ethan absorbs every second of sympathy like oxygen. But across the ballroom, Dr. Hale watches silently, and so does Detective Bennett. Because tonight isn't about honoring Sophia. Tonight is about trapping Ethan, and Ethan walks directly into it. Halfway through the gala, a giant memorial video begins playing on the ballroom screens. Photos of Sophia appear. Her childhood, her nursing career, her pregnancy journey. Guests wipe away tears. Even Ethan pretends emotional pain. Then suddenly, the screen glitches. The room murmurs in confusion, and Sophia appears alive on camera. The exact video from the flash drive. Gasps erupt across the ballroom. Ethan's face drains instantly. Sophia's trembling voice fills the room. "If you're watching this, something happened to me." Vanessa nearly drops her champagne glass. The ballroom falls completely silent. Sophia continues. "I know Ethan is trying to kill me." Chaos explodes instantly. People begin whispering loudly. Phones rise recording everything. Ethan stands frozen, and Dr. Hale watches carefully. Because this is the moment. The mask cracking. Sophia's voice echoes across the ballroom. "If I die under suspicious circumstances, my husband inherits nothing." Vanessa grabs Ethan's arm desperately. "We need to leave." But Ethan's ego finally snaps. He storms toward the stage furiously. "This is a lie," he shouts. Guests recoil. Cameras immediately turn toward him. Dr. Hale steps forward calmly, then explain the altered medication approvals. Ethan's breathing sharpens. "I trusted the doctors." Detective Bennett appears beside the stage and explain the shell accounts opened before your wife's death. The crowd gasps louder. Vanessa slowly backs away. She suddenly realizes Ethan may not survive this, and desperate people become dangerous. Then comes the final blow. Dr. Hale lifts Sophia's backup phone. "Or perhaps you'd like everyone here to hear the recordings." Ethan lunges forward violently. "Give me that." Security instantly grabs him. The ballroom erupts into screaming chaos. Cameras flash non-stop. Investors whisper. Reporters rush outside breaking the story live. And for one glorious moment, justice finally feels close. But then, a terrified nurse suddenly runs into the ballroom. Pale, panicked, looking directly at Dr. Hale. "Doctor!" Her voice shakes violently. "The baby is gone." Silence crashes over the room. Dr. Hale freezes. "What?" The nurse is nearly crying now. The nursery security cameras were cut 20 minutes ago. She gasps for breath. Sophia's son has been kidnapped. The ballroom explodes into panic. Guests scream. Reporters shove microphones forward. Security rushes in every direction. And in the center of the chaos, Dr. Raymond Hale stands completely frozen. The baby is gone? The nurse nods frantically through tears. The power to the nursery cameras was cut. One of the rear exits was forced open. Detective Marcus Bennett immediately grabs his phone. Lock down every road leaving downtown Chicago now. Officers sprint from the ballroom. Meanwhile, Ethan Cole stares ahead silently, too silently, and Dr. Hale notices. No panic, no fatherly fear, no desperate questions, just calculation. Then Ethan suddenly shouts, "You think I'd hurt my own son?" But his performance comes too late. Nobody in the room believes him anymore. Not after Sophia's video. Not after the recordings. Not after the rage they just witnessed. Vanessa slowly steps farther away from Ethan as cameras capture every second. For the first time, she looks terrified of him too. Beautiful souls, if your heart is racing right now, subscribe immediately, because this story is about to take the darkest turn yet. Outside, thunder crashes across the city's skyline. Police flood the hospital grounds within minutes. Detective Bennett organizes search teams while Dr. Hale rushes back toward the neonatal wing. Empty bassinet, tiny blanket still warm, and one horrifying detail. Sophia's baby monitor is lying smashed on the floor. Dr. Hale bends slowly to pick it up, then notices something beneath it. A folded note. 3 words written in black ink. "Back off, doctor." His blood runs cold, because now it's undeniable. Someone is desperate. Desperate enough to abduct a newborn. Meanwhile, Ethan sits inside an interrogation room at police headquarters. Rain streaks down the dark windows behind him. Detective Bennett places photographs on the table. The altered medication approvals. The secret accounts. Security footage from the hospital lounge showing Ethan and Vanessa celebrating minutes after Sophia's death. And finally, Sophia's recorded video accusation. Ethan's jaw tightens harder with every image. "You don't have enough," he mutters. Marcus leans forward calmly. "We have motive." Silence. "We have financial evidence." Longer silence. "And now we have a kidnapped child." Ethan suddenly slams both hands on the table. "I didn't take him." The room stills. Marcus watches carefully. Interesting. Not "I would never hurt my son." Not grief. Not fear. Just denial. Then Ethan lowers his voice. "You don't understand who you're dealing with." Marcus almost smiles. "No," he says quietly. "I think I finally do." But while police focus on Ethan, Vanessa's heart is already running. Because the moment the kidnapping news broke, she realized something horrifying. Ethan never truly loved anyone. Not Sophia, not the baby, not even her. She returns frantically to her luxury condo and begins stuffing clothes into expensive luggage. Passport, cash, jewelry, anything valuable. Her hands shake violently. Then her phone rings. "Ethan," she hesitates before answering. "What?" she whispers. Ethan's voice comes low and dangerous. "You're leaving." Vanessa freezes. "How do you know where I am?" "Because I paid for that apartment." Her breathing sharpens. "Ethan, tell me you didn't take the baby." Silence. Pure silence. And suddenly Vanessa understands everything. "Oh my God." Ethan exhales slowly. "You need to calm down. You kidnapped him." "I'm protecting myself." Vanessa backs away like she's speaking to a stranger. That's a child. That child controls Sophia's trust, Ethan snaps. Without him, the estate freezes indefinitely. Vanessa feels sick. The truth finally crashes down completely. This was never about love. It was always about control, money, power, possession. And now Ethan has crossed a line even she never imagined. Back at the hospital, Dr. Hale enters Sophia's old recovery room alone. The room remains untouched. A tiny stuffed elephant still rests near the window. Sophia bought it during her 7th month of pregnancy. Dr. Hale sinks slowly into a chair. Exhaustion overwhelms him. For the first time since Sophia died, he feels fear, real fear, because despite all the evidence, Ethan still has money, connections, lawyers, and now the baby is missing. Everything is spiraling out of control. He whispers softly into the empty room. "I'm sorry, Sophia." His voice breaks. "I promised I'd protect him." For a moment, it feels like they've lost. Like evil may actually win. And beautiful souls, have you ever fought for someone with everything you had, only to feel like you were failing them anyway? Let me know in the comments, because this next part proves why good people can never afford to give up. Suddenly, a soft knock interrupts the silence. Dr. Hale looks up. It's Elena Ramirez, but she isn't alone. Beside her stands an older woman holding a small locked box. "Elena?" Dr. Hale asks carefully. Elena steps forward. "This is Sophia's aunt, Maria." The older woman's eyes are red from crying. "She told me," Maria whispers shakily. "If anything happened to her, I should give this box only to Dr. Hale." Dr. Hale stands immediately. Inside the box are documents, USB drives, bank statements, and one final sealed envelope labeled "For the police." Dr. Hale opens it carefully. Inside is a handwritten letter from Sophia. His hands tremble as he reads. Ethan has been moving money through illegal offshore accounts. He bribed a pharmaceutical supplier during one of his developments. And if my baby ever disappears after my death, Ethan knows where he is. Dr. Hale's eyes widen instantly. Then he notices another page. An address. An abandoned lake house outside the city. Marcus Bennett arrives 20 minutes later. After reading the documents, his entire expression changes. "This is enough for federal charges," he mutters. Then he sees the address. And suddenly, everything clicks. Because Ethan once purchased that lake property secretly through a shell company, Marcus grabs his jacket immediately. We move now. Police convoys tear through rain-soaked highways under flashing lights. 40 minutes later, they reach the isolated lake house deep in the woods. Dark, silent, one dim light glowing upstairs. Marcus raises his weapon carefully. "Everybody ready?" Officers nod. Dr. Hale stands behind them, heart pounding violently. Because somewhere inside that house, Sophia's son may still be alive. Then suddenly, a baby cries, faint but unmistakable. Marcus signals forward. Officers breach the front door violently. Police. Chaos erupts inside. Furniture crashes. Footsteps thunder upstairs. And then, a gunshot explodes through the house. Dr. Hale's heart nearly stops. Police storm upward toward the nursery room. and standing beside the crib, wild-eyed and desperate, is Ethan Cole, holding a gun, pointed directly at Detective Bennett. While Sophia's terrified newborn cries helplessly only inches away, the entire lake house freezes. Rain pounds violently against the windows. Sophia's baby screams inside the crib, and Ethan Cole stands in the middle of the nursery with shaking hands, pointing a gun directly at Detective Marcus Bennett. His expensive suit is wrinkled now, his hair soaked with sweat. The polished billionaire mask is finally gone. What remains is the real Ethan. Cornered, desperate, dangerous. Put the gun down, Marcus says calmly. Ethan laughs nervously. You think this ends with me in prison? Dr. Hale slowly steps into the doorway behind the officers. The moment Ethan sees him, pure hatred floods his face. This is your fault, Ethan snarls. Dr. Hale's voice remains steady. No, Ethan, this started the moment you stopped seeing Sophia as human. For one brief second, something flickers across Ethan's expression. Not guilt, not remorse, rage, because deep down, Ethan still believes he's the victim. The world owed him success. Sophia owed him sacrifice. Everyone else existed to serve his ambitions, and now that illusion is collapsing in real time. Beautiful souls, if you've stayed through this incredible journey, don't forget to subscribe, because the ending of this story proves that truth may be delayed, but it never stays buried forever. The baby cries louder. Tiny helpless cries echo through the room. Dr. Hale notices Ethan's hand trembling harder now. He's losing control. Marcus notices it too. You don't want to do this. Ethan's eyes dart toward the window. Calculating escape. Always calculating. They ruined everything, he whispers. Then suddenly, Vanessa appears in the hallway. Everyone turns. Her mascara is smeared from crying. Her voice shakes violently. Ethan, stop. Ethan stares at her in disbelief. You called them. Vanessa nods slowly through tears. I didn't know you'd become this. Ethan's face twists with betrayal. You were supposed to stand beside me. Vanessa steps closer carefully. No, Sophia did that. Silence crashes through the room, because those words hit harder than bullets. For the first time, someone finally says the truth directly to Ethan's face. Sophia stood beside him when he had nothing. Sophia built his life. Sophia sacrificed everything, and he destroyed her for greed. Ethan's breathing grows heavier, unstable, broken. Then he suddenly screams, I deserved more. And in that instant, he raises the gun wildly. Marcus moves instantly. A deafening gunshot explodes through the room. Vanessa screams. Officers tackle Ethan violently to the ground. The weapon slides across the floor. The baby cries hysterically, and for several terrifying seconds, nobody knows who was hit. Then Marcus slowly stands, uninjured. Ethan groans beneath officers pinning him down. Shot in the shoulder during the struggle. Alive, but finished. Completely finished. Dr. Hale rushes immediately to the crib, and the moment he lifts Sophia's son into his arms, the crying slowly softens. The tiny baby grips his finger instinctively. Safe, finally safe. Dr. Hale closes his eyes briefly. Emotion overwhelms him, because he remembers Sophia's final words. Protect my son. And despite everything, he kept that promise. Outside the lake house, flashing police lights illuminate the stormy darkness as Ethan is dragged away in handcuffs. Reporters scream questions. Cameras flash non-stop. Did you murder your wife? Did you kidnap your child? Were you after Sophia's fortune? But Ethan says nothing. His empire is already collapsing. By sunrise, the story dominates national headlines. Luxury developer exposed. Dead wife's secret recordings revealed. Kidnapping charges. Financial fraud. Possible homicide investigation. Investors abandon Ethan overnight. Business partners disappear. Bank accounts freeze. Federal investigators raid coal developments before noon. And Vanessa, she publicly cooperates with investigators in exchange for reduced charges tied to financial concealment. But even she cannot escape public shame completely, because millions watched her celebrate another woman's death. And the internet never forgets. 3 months later, winter snow falls softly across Chicago. Inside a quiet courtroom, Ethan Cole receives his sentence. Kidnapping, fraud, evidence tampering, financial crimes, conspiracy connected to Sophia's death investigation. Decades behind bars. The judge's final words echo through the silent courtroom. Your wife gave everything to build your future. You repaid her with betrayal and greed. Ethan lowers his head for the first time. Not from remorse, from defeat. True defeat. And beautiful souls, where are you watching this final chapter from today? Drop your location below, because this story proves people everywhere understand the difference between love and selfishness pretending to be love. 6 months later, spring arrives. Dr. Raymond Hale walks slowly through a newly opened maternity support center called the Sophia Cole Foundation. Photographs line the walls. Young mothers receive free health care. Single parents receive emergency support. Families struggling financially are given shelter and childcare assistance, all funded through Sophia's protected estate. Her legacy now saves thousands. Not Ethan's greed, Sophia's kindness. Elena Ramirez now manages the foundation beside Dr. Hale. And every year on Sophia's birthday, free medical care is provided for mothers who cannot afford treatment. Because pain transformed into purpose. One afternoon, Dr. Hale sits quietly in the foundation garden holding Sophia's son, little Noah Cole. Now healthy, laughing, alive. Noah reaches for a bright yellow flower while sunlight warms the garden around them. And for the first time since Sophia died, peace finally feels real. Maria, Sophia's aunt, smiles softly nearby. He has her eyes. She whispers. Dr. Hale nods. And her heart too. Noah giggles happily in his arms, completely unaware of the darkness he survived, but surrounded now by people who truly love him. People Sophia carefully chose before she died. That was her final victory. Not revenge, protection. Because real love prepares even for the worst, and real legacy outlives betrayal. Dr. Hale glances upward as wind moves gently through the trees, almost like Sophia is still watching over her son, still protecting him, still winning. The same child Ethan once viewed as a financial obstacle became the reason his entire empire collapsed. That's the irony greed never understands. When people destroy others for money, they eventually destroy themselves. And tonight, beautiful souls, thank you for taking this incredible journey with me. If this story moved you, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let me know in the comments. What moment hit you the hardest? Was it Sophia's final message, Ethan's public exposure, or the moment Noah was finally rescued? And remember this, sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't hatred. It's making sure goodness survives after evil tried to bury it.